The panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Yes, it is time for Coffee and here on ON Radio, Tuesday, July 25th. Christmas in July. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us today. Romeo Bertram is here. Hi, Romeo.
Good morning, Joe.
Romeo's here because Linda Tebow cannot make it in today, doing a little vacation work for Linda. Ed Carew is here as well. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Romeo.
Good morning. Good morning, Ed.
everyone.
How are you?
All right. And it's time for first message from the Carew Investment Group, our first segment sponsor of the Coffee and program.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Are you retired or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, call me, Ed Carew, or you can call my son Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thank you. And we have a note we want to get to right to start things off this morning. 766-1240 if you'd like to call in your comments or questions. The Barbie movie opened over the weekend as the number one movie in the country. The number two movie in the nation is Oppenheimer, which by critics is a 5-star rating movie and considered the best movie of the year. But the Barbie, that's the movie for kids, and that's the only reason why it killed at the box office. It's a fantasy, and I guess a fantasy beats a realistic, interesting, gripping plot. Well, of course, kids' movies are always going to do very well, especially right off the bat.
Well, Joe, you're a movie aficionado.
I am. Yeah.
Of the two, which one do you want to see?
Oppenheimer.
Oh,
if
me
I had to
too,
choose.
Yeah. Does your daughter want to see Barbie?
She's actually seen both.
Oh, all right.
I don't know if this is a new thing amongst the kids.
Double header?
She did a doubleheader.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's what they were talking about last weekend. They were calling it Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
That's good.
So her and her friends got together, and they went to go see the Barbie movie. And then when they got out of the movie at about 7:30, then they went and got something to eat, and then they went back for like the 10:30 movie of Oppenheimer.
I heard that was a
And-
3-hour movie.
It is, because she got home at like 1:30 in the morning. And now they're talking about going to see Oppenheimer again.
Wow.
And you wouldn't think this would be a movie that, teenage girls, 17 and 18 years old, would want to flock to go see. But they're thinking of going to see it
Yeah,
again.
I'm surprised. I would think they'd want to see Barbie.
They saw Barbie. They thought it was cute. They thought it was fun. A lot of laughs, and so they enjoyed that for their girl fantasy. They thought Ryan Gosling as Ken was hysterical. So okay, that's their push. That's their review of the movie. But Oppenheimer was just as good. It's just a different kind of movie.
That's the anti-Barbie.
Anti-Barbie.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or
But she said it's good. It's not a documentary. It's a real movie, and it really goes into the angst that Oppenheimer felt
Yep.
for developing the atom bomb. And what have I done? And oh my gosh! And am I going to go down in history as the world's biggest murderer kind of thing?
well, I think until this movie came out, most people didn't even associate the bomb with him. They didn't
Well, I
realize.
know his name, yeah.
Right. So now that they've made the movie, what a murderer he was. Watch them come out. Oh, yeah, right.
Well, if it wasn't him, it was going to be somebody else.
Of course. Well, it was a whole team. He was in charge of the team, but it wasn't
Right.
only him. yeah.
Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
Yes, very good at it.
But his name's on top of it, so he gets all the accolades.
Los Alamos, New Mexico. That's
that where they built
that's
it?
where the lab was, so to speak. Yeah.
I wanted to get on Romeo's take on this because the retired history teacher. It was on this day in 1866.
Okay.
Ulysses S. Grant was named the general of the United States Army.
General of the Army, the highest rank you can get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
he was in charge of the Union troops, wasn't he?
He was.
And wasn't he general then?
He was a general, but he was a whatever a 4-star general is that lieutenant general or major general?
I don't know.
He wasn't general of the army. There are only about 3 or 4 of them in our history.
Is that right?
That's right. One of them is Eisenhower, I
Yeah, I
think.
was just going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. I should let you. I think Ed knows more than I do about all this. Yeah, I think that's. And then 2 years later, he was elected president, and then he became commander in chief, and that's even higher than
Yeah.
general
Yeah, it's a
of
step
the
down.
army.
Right?
To step down into civilian life, but
Now,
he could fire the president as commander in chief can fire generals of the army. That's
so that make MacArthur, was he a general of the
you
army?
know I think he was.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known about it. I would have done a little bit of research
Well, you know,
prior
these things
to.
just pop up,
but-
you know.
Yeah.
So, okay, if Ulysses S. Grant was the first one to reach it,
yeah.
do you think it would have happened to Robert E. Lee if, because I always heard Lincoln wanted Lee to run the Union Army.
He did. He asked. him.
Okay, and he turned it down because he went and did
He
the
went with
Confederate.
Virginia, right?
So,
Yeah.
you think Lee would have gotten the same kind of accolades?
I think Lee was a great general. I really do. And I mean, yeah, I don't mean that in a.
as a strategist.
He just didn't have the resources that Grant had,
Yeah.
and the leadership. Lincoln, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, but Lincoln was really quite in charge. He was pulling the
strings?
along with Grant,
Uh-huh.
you know, and his advice. But Lincoln ran the show. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, as a president, of course, he has a right to, but most of them just, you know, let their military people do all the work.
Yeah.
But he was really involved. So yeah, the answer is I think he would have.
He would have. Okay.
Sure.
Did
What do you
Lee
think?
not have the kind of generals under him that were as strong or as smart as the Union?
He had what's his name? Good old Stonewall Jackson. When he lost
Yeah.
Stonewall, that was
That was
the beginning of the end
Yeah.
for the Confederacy.
yeah,
That was a big loss.
yeah.
Um,
All right.
So yeah, I think he had some pretty good military people, but he just didn't have the resources
Right.
and support you know,
Mhm.
that Grant had.
All right. Ed,
Yes,
we've,
sir.
we've had it on our news, and that the Feds are going to meet tomorrow, and they're saying that they will raise interest rates
Tomorrow and today.
today. Okay.
They're gonna raise
Um,
it again?
Did
2 days in a row?
no, they
No.
won't do that. But it was a few weeks
Yeah.
ago when they raised it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a month.
No, the last meeting I said
Was?
they wouldn't raise it, and they didn't.
Okay. But
Okay.
didn't you say they probably won't
I said-
raise it until the end of the year?
No, I said they probably won't raise it until the July meeting.
And here it is.
Here it is.
All
And
right.
it's July.
I should really write this stuff down because that's usually right in these kind of things.
Don't question the experts.
So another quarter of a point. Is that
Yep.
what they're looking at? Okay.
Yep.
Are you in agreement with this or not? Does it need to be done to control inflation?
Does it need to be done? I don't know if it needs to be done. I'm not. I'm not privy to all the numbers that they have.
Okay.
But look, inflation is slowing very quickly.
Okay.
It may not show up on everything that you personally buy or that someone else that's listening to may personally buy, but it is slowing very quickly. I don't think it'll hurt to raise it 25 basis points because the economy is pretty strong still. Labor department, labor numbers are still very good. You know, it's not like they've caused a lot of unemployment, but they, you know, just can't get too crazy. There could be one more before the end of the year.
When they meet when in September?
Well, they meet every
October?
month. So,
every month, okay.
you know, so they could be one more, maybe in September or something. But Rolling Stones, 1965, this could be the last time. It's possible.
I like how he ties in the rock and roll reference.
There you go. Well, that's good.
Well, we used to play that.
All right.
I have a question for Ed. Ed, are you suggesting that what the Fed has done over the last year or two by raising the rate has been the answer to tame inflation? Because you did say inflation is slowing down. Is it
Oh, no,
primarily
no,
because of what they've
It
done?
didn't slow down by itself. It's because they raised interest rates as much
No.
as they did, as quickly as
So,
they did.
so that's what
They're
kinda did it.
actually
Yeah.
pretty lucky that they haven't thrown us into a full-fledged recession.
Okay.
You know,
So the interest rate increase is primarily responsible for the taming of inflation?
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's the only tool they have.
Yeah, they can only raise it or not raise it, right?
Raise it, not raise it, or lower it. That's about it. You know, the only other tool they've got is that buying back bonds, which they did during, what was it? The pandemic
COVID.
and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and actually they started that a long time before that during the banking crisis. Before
What is the rate of inflation now, as far as you know? Roughly.
3
3. And
from
it was,
9,
it
from
was
9 down to 3.
Yeah.
They want it to be
Wow.
2. So, you know, they don't really have to do much more because there's a lag time between raising rates
Yep.
and the effect that it has.
So for years and years when inflation was like 1-2%,
For years and
do you
years,
foresee that coming back for another period eventually? Or?
I guess it's possible. I mean, anything is possible.
Okay.
I mean, I remember when interest rates, when I first started in the brokerage business, we were selling tax-free municipal bonds for 15%, and people didn't want them because they thought interest rates were going to keep going up. Mortgages, you 17, 18, 19%,
Yeah.
you know, back
Yep.
in the 80s,
Yep.
early, you know.
Yeah.
So the cycle, you never know when it's going to change or how high or how low it will go to. So.
Okay. Well, you were talking about how inflation has been tamed, so to speak,
Uh-huh.
and in spite of that, the economy is still fairly decent.
Yeah, the economy's doing well.
I remember reporting in the news on Saturday morning that Rhode Island's unemployment rate is only 2.5%, something like that. Is that true? That's pretty good,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Could be
Yeah.
2.5. It sounds very low to me.
Yeah. Well, that was
you know,
reported in the.
the national unemployment
Yeah.
rate, I believe, is 3.5 or 3.6.
Yeah, we're below that. I knew that.
Wow.
Yeah, in Rhode Island. So the Great Resignation is over, so to speak, when people were quitting their jobs and they couldn't hire enough people. Everywhere you go, signs in the window.
Oh, there's still
and,
signs everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
signs on vehicles when you're
Yeah.
driving
Yeah,
down
I
on the
know.
back of
Hire
a
me.
truck. There's a we're hiring. Call this number. And,
How-
you know, sure.
What are these people doing for a living? The people that quit their jobs, all these people who used to work in these places that are now begging for employees. What are they doing? Other jobs, maybe, or are they just staying
Well, there was a
home?
period of time where
Yeah.
you could quit your job, walk down the street, and get
Yeah.
another job.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it's still that way in certain industries.
right.
But, you know, time has a funny way of slipping by and you don't notice it. You know, the pandemic is already 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And people who were 63, 64, 65 then probably never went back to work.
Right.
You know, they collected unemployment or, you know, whatever it was that was
Retired,
going
and then they
around. And then the
retired.
first thing you know, they say, hey, you know, I'm old
Wow.
enough to retire.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
you know, that's part of it. And
All
the birth rate is down.
Mm-hmm.
So if the economy continues to improve as it seems to be, with the lowering of inflation and the unemployment rate being so low, that bodes well for the administration. I mean, people vote with their stomachs, not with their heads. You know that, right? Or do you agree? I don't know. You're the financial guy, so.
I guess it bodes better for the administration than if
Yeah.
interest rates were, than if the rates kept going up and
Yeah.
if unemployment was at 7%,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things
Oh, I know.
about this economy and this administration that are not good.
Such as.
So,
Well, before you answer that,
Okay. Yeah.
we got to take a break on the Coffee Am program. So contemplate it, Ed. But while you're doing that, give us a second message from the Carew Investment Group.
okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. If you're looking for an investment firm that puts you first and works hard on your behalf, I'd like you to consider us. We're right here in Woonsocket, and we've been in business since 1987. So you don't have to go out of town for an experienced advisor or work with an advisor based in Boston or New York or who knows where, probably someone you're never going to meet. And we encourage our clients to come to the office and sit down with us as often as they like. Why? Because we like to do business the old-fashioned way. We want to get to know you on a more personal basis so that we're more attuned to your financial needs. So if you're interested in speaking with us for a free no obligation consultation and find out more about how we'll invest your money, you can call me or Paul at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Thanks, Ed. And the Coffee and program will continue, and you can call in your comments and questions to 766-1240.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. This Friday, July 28th at the Lebanon Free Concerts at Woonsocket's River Island Art Park, we open with the high-energy world debut of Paris Scribe and Big Frank at 6 p.m. Then, at 7:30, our headliner band begs the question, what do you get with a ukulele, an electric violin, and 2 guys who look like rappers? You get great music with B-Twins.
No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as my team sing with me. Oh, darling, stay.
Live music, food trucks, on-site bar, kids' activities, and activities for everyone with the dynamic Jerry from Jerry's Bluffing Boutique. If you can't come this week, the concerts will be broadcast live over the air on ON AM and FM stereo radio and streamed live at woonsocketradio.com or watch in your home on your smart TV via the ON Worldwide channel on YouTube. Our broadcast is sponsored in part by Navigant Credit Union, Thunder Mist Health Center, Casey for Congress campaign, Woonsocket City Councilman John Ward, Rhode Island State Representative Robert Phillips, and Born O Uniforms.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM.
It is Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Romeo Berthium and Ed Crew. We were just telling, if you go ask Alexa or go ask Siri, whichever you prefer, just ask them, how many jobs has Barbie had over her career that started back in the 50s?
Yeah.
And we did that, and
Yeah.
Alexa said she has had 200 different jobs.
Well, she was ahead of her time, though, because when she first
Oh,
started,
yeah.
the women were not getting the jobs that Barbie got.
I know.
I mean,
I know
who
she,
would've-
she probably started
Yeah.
as a secretary or
Yeah.
or nurse,
Yeah.
but now she's the CEO of companies, and she's
I'm saying.
she's the airline pilot and the astronaut and anything
Yeah.
else you can think
The
of like
doctor.
that.
Yeah,
Doctor,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
is her real name Barbara?
I used to know that.
I don't know. What's her last name?
Rogers,
Doll.
I thought, but I wasn't
Rogers.
Barbie doll.
I didn't
Barbie
know.
doll, good
Barbie
one. I like
doll.
that. Wow, that's sexist, Ed. You can't say that anymore. All right,
Why?
serious question though, Ed. The Teamsters and management of UPS, they're going to talk today. They haven't talked in a while, and we're getting close to July 31st when the contract runs out. First of all, do you think they're going to reach an agreement? And second of all, if they don't reach an agreement, will that affect the stock market? Because they keep saying how it's going to kill the economy if this is to take place. What do you see? What
If
do you
they
think?
don't reach an agreement, it'll temporarily hurt UPS
Okay.
and maybe some other companies. It'll temporarily help people like FedEx and XPO and a few other
U.S. Postal Service.
delivery, yeah, postal service, other delivery companies,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
temporarily.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll all go back. This is not the first time that UPS has a strike or FedEx has a strike or anything like that. It all works itself out. But from what I heard this morning, it sounds like the UPS and the Teamsters Union have pretty much settled all of the really big sticking
have they?
points.
Okay.
And there's only a few things to work out because they haven't met since for almost 2 weeks.
Right.
I mean, if things were that
Yeah.
bad, if they, you know, you don't like say, oh yeah, we're gonna strike on July 31st or August 1st, whatever it is, but we're not gonna talk until then. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they've got to have things pretty well ironed out, so I wouldn't be too worried about it.
What are some of their demands?
The only thing I really
Yeah.
picked up on was the drivers want air conditioning
Yeah.
in the trucks.
I heard about that.
All right. Okay, give it to them.
And what about their salary? What about
It's
their-
got to be a money thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it
money is always involved,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 But I feel bad for them with the no air conditioning in the truck.
Especially,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're rough.
Yeah. Well, they have to leave their doors open, though, don't they?
But why do
basically?
they have
Well,
to?
they do leave their door open, but do they have to leave them open?
Yeah.
I don't see their doors open in the winter.
I'm just wondering
No.
if that's a rule. You know, they have weird rules sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't
Keep
see
the
the
doors
doors open in
open.
the winter.
Yeah. No, well, no, that would make sense. They keep the heat in.
If we
I
keep
think
the-
it's I think
Yeah.
it's just to get some kind of ventilation in there.
Yeah.
But if we keep the door open, that means we can deliver the package 2 seconds quicker because we don't have to open the door all the time and then close it. We're saving
You-
2 seconds on every delivery. That's going to add up after a while.
So the FedEx workers don't belong to the same union as the UPS drivers?
Don't know.
No. And if they did, would they cross a picket line?
They usually
FedEx
don't do
drivers?
that.
No,
Usually,
that's
usually
competition though, right?
Ford and GM, if there's a strike, it's one or the other. It's
okay.
not usually the whole industry.
Yeah. But some unions will make it very clear to their members that if there's a strike, you don't cross that picket line. If you do, you're considered to be like a semi-scab or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but if you're at FedEx,
Yeah.
you're not going to go to the UPS facility to get your packages.
No,
to
but when you
deliver.
deliver, and if it was, I don't know, not sure how that would work. I mean, but again, if the UPS drivers set up picket lines in front of, let's say, businesses that have a lot of business there, and they see the FedEx drivers coming in, they could. But I don't think it would. I don't think it would come to that. But I was just wondering about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
New England Patriots open up training camp today.
Yes, I see the smile on your face.
Well, I always look forward
Yeah.
to the beginning of every sports season.
Of course.
Just to see where everything goes, and then I look ahead of what the Patriots have done. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Okay.
like, well,
Yeah.
Mac Jones is still the quarterback,
Yeah.
unless Zappy does something really impressive in training camp. All the coaches keep saying, Mac's our guy. Okay, you can only go up from where you went when how you played last year. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
This will be his third year coming. I believe?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, he's growing. I mean, figuratively speaking, you know
Yeah.
what I mean. He's gaining a lot of experience.
but us New England fans, we're only going to give him a short leash before it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you got to, we want him out of here.
We want another championship year.
Well, we will,
Yeah.
you can't have another Tom Brady because there's only one Tom, but we want something better than what you've been giving us. So,
But you do have a Belichick.
Yeah, but
still
how
have
much of
him.
that was the offensive coaching last year? You didn't have an offensive coach. You had a defensive guy doing
Yeah.
the offensive coaching.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So,
It comes down to that and what kind of talent did he have on the field? Did he have people to hand off to and to throw to? And when he did, when he did he could he get the ball to them? Football is a very intriguing game.
yeah, yeah. Who was calling the plays?
Last year,
Yeah, was it Matt
it
Patricia?
was Patricia. Calling
Yeah,
the
so
plays.
that's what I mean. It's like
yeah,
if that's not your
he won't be doing
Your
that.
strong suit,
he won't
you
be
know?
doing
Your
that this
forte,
year.
yeah.
So, all right, so that's kind of done.
So you're blaming the coaching.
Well, partially,
Yeah.
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 I'm not a big fan of Mac Jones, but I don't think he's 100% to blame either.
Oh no. Well, he does what he's told by the coaches.
Oh yeah, and this is the play to run.
Oh yeah.
Run this play. Well, okay. All right, well, we'll see how things go. And if you want to go up to Gillette, I don't think it's today, but starting tomorrow, they open it up. A couple of hours of practice. Thousands of people show up to go to this stuff. So
I'm sure.
because I think it's free to get in.
Would that include present company and?
You know, I haven't been to Patriots training camp since they were at Bryant University.
Okay. That's about 5 years.
Oh, no, it's longer.
Longer than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over.
Time
20,
has a
over-
way.
Oh, it's over 20 because Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells was the. Was
Oh
the
my
coach.
God, that is a long time ago.
It was.
Wow. I remember when they were at Bryant. It seemed like about 5 years ago.
No,
More like
oh my
15.
God. I think it's over 20. They got to go back to the
Oh.
1990s.
Well, Belichick's been there for
Since
at least
2000,
yeah,
so-
23 years.
But,
Okay.
they were
Oops.
they were practicing on a field
Yeah.
at Bryant, and it was surrounded by thousands of people.
Oh yeah.
That I couldn't stand at that field. I had to go, and there was an adjacent field to it, and I was standing at that field with everyone else that could sit by the
Yeah.
real field. And they ran a play on the field, and the whistle blew, and I guess when they know when this particular whistle blows, everybody's the players, not the fans, but the players had better be quiet. And Parcells blew the whistle, and he. Oh my God! I can't even repeat what he said. there were
I
so
guess
many
not.
expletives in it. It was, and I could hear him clear as day from where I was standing, and I'm like 200 yards away. He was screaming at somebody, and how he screwed something up. And then it was okay, run it again, and they did it again, and he didn't screw it up that time. I'm like, oh my God, that is rough playing this game.
Those are moments you don't forget.
Oh,
huh,
I will never, I will never
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so down in Texas, there is this blockade in the water. It's a fence, for lack of a better word, that's in the Rio Grande.
Buoys.
That's right, and they're tied together, and,
Yeah.
it's like 1,000 feet long, and they've put it in the water where the Rio Grande is at its lowest,
That's where they cross.
at about 3 feet.
Right.
So it's forcing the people to go to the other sides. Although I don't know why they can't get over this fence, but they got to go to the sides where the water is now 6 feet.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, now they're being sued by the U.S. government.
They are being sued. The governor's holding his.
The government says no, we have our prerogative.
And you know what
We
it
can
is
do
with the
this."
buoys? If you try to jump over them, they spin. So you can't jump over them. Then if you try to go under, it's only 3 feet deep, so there's no room to swim under. So they could drown.
Mhm.
Okay? And I guess the alternative to that is don't cross
Don't
the Rio
cross.
Grande. But they go down where
here's
it's
your option.
deeper, and
Yeah.
they could still drown there. It's 6
Yes, they
feet,
could.
especially for a child. And, everybody thinks a river is only like this, but
No,
it's,
no,
at
rivers are
some
good
point,
size.
it can be wide. So what do you think should happen, Joe?
I think the governor gets to run his state the way he wants to run his state, and just if he wants to put buoys in the river, okay.
I think he's quoted as saying, "See you in court, Mr. President."
Yes, yeah. If he came up with this idea, or him and his team of engineers,
Yeah.
if it's going to keep
Yeah.
some of the illegals out, okay.
Well, it's like his own wall.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 1,000 feet.
I know it's not that long, but
That's not even a quarter of a mile.
So,
Yeah.
have you seen Ed? Have you seen the this wall in the
I
water?
did. I saw it
Okay.
this morning on the news. Yeah.
And then they complained about it like afterwards. Then they run into razor sharp barbed wire. Well,
Yeah.
and all I can think of is, what do other countries do to keep illegals out? Is it like if you want to go from Spain to Portugal, they're a border.
Even
They have the same kind of mechanisms keeping people out.
you don't even have to go that far. Up in
Mm.
Vermont, where the Canadian border is, going into Quebec, there are a lot of woods around that road that leads you into Canada and leads you back into the U.S. I would think there's a lot of people that smuggle their way through. I don't think they have wire in those. I don't think because it's not a problem up there.
No,
It's a
right,
problem down by the southern border. Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. But I'm sure there are some Canadians who have crossed
back and forth.
illegally, and I'm sure there are some Americans who've crossed. I don't know why. Maybe they don't have passports or something. Or I don't know, but I'm sure it's been done. And I doubt very much they have barbed wires in the woods. But,
Probably not.
But they're pretty strict at the railroad. You've been to Canada, right? I
Not in a long time. no.
yeah. There's
Didn't need a passport last time I had to go to Canada.
that's a long time.
It sure is.
At least 15.
So
Almost like the Patriots
that's right.
training camp.
So Ed, should the wall stay in the water? Does the governor of Texas have the right to do this?
I'm not going to render a legal opinion on that.
All right.
Well,
Are you surprised the U.S. government is suing Texas, saying you can't do this?
No, I'm not.
No. Okay.
I think they're doing it out of principle because of their policy, and I think the question, question behind all this is, who has the power, the state or the federal government? It goes back
Well, that's
to
the thing.
Yeah.
States' rights,
yeah.
you know.
Isn't that what caused the Civil War?
Yeah, states' rights versus the
Ah,
feds. Yeah.
well, who's more powerful? Who created the federal government?
The people.
The 13 states. The
Right.
delegates from the 13 states. The states came first.
Mm-hmm.
First they were colonies, then they became states, and then it became the U.S.
All right. So in the meantime, the wall stays in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And there'll be more.
And since it went in,
Controversy.
what
Yeah.
I'm hearing is the
Yeah.
governor is saying illegal crossing is down 30%.
It's apparently working, a
working.
little bit. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's preventing them from coming in.
We'll
That's
see
what
what
he wants.
we'll see what more happens with that with the wall in the water down there in Texas. It's time for a break once again, and it's time for a look at the forecast, which is being brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
Partly sunny skies today with a high of 85 and calm wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 67. Wednesday's weather sunny with a high of 89. Thursday, there's a partly sunny sky predicted with a high of 90. Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 93. Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 90. Sunday, mostly sunny and 80. And next Monday, sunshine and 79.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have cloudy skies and 77 degrees. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. A great summertime activity is back at the Beef Barn. It's cruise night, and it takes place tonight starting at 4 p.m. Take a stroll through the more than 150 classic cars where you'll marvel at the beauty and craftsmanship of these automotive gems. Whether you're an avid collector or simply appreciate the nostalgia, Cruise Night at the Beef Barn is an event not to be missed. If you get hungry, the Beef Barn has their full menu, including their famous roast beef sandwiches, plus chowder and clam cakes. Cruise Night at the Beef Barn, 200 Industrial Drive, North Smithfield, tonight and every Tuesday night during the summer, starting at 4 p.m.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 465956.
Hi, this is Romeo Berthium. I'm inviting you to join me every Saturday morning from 6 to 9 for The Saturday Show. This all-request program includes music, news, sports, weather, and all sorts of community announcements. And what a great way to start your weekend. Join me this Saturday morning.
ON Radio, ON Worldwide.
It is Coffee In here on ON Radio. Joe Callahan along with Ed Carew and Romeo Berthium is here. We did get a note called in to the panel. This is actually about the Red Sox. No more cupcakes like the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs. The real team is in town. Here come the Atlanta Braves.
All right.
And yeah, it's a real. This will be a real test for the Red Sox with the Atlanta Braves in town.
They're back.
So yes,
The Braves.
and yeah, we should be beating the bad teams, but we need to beat the good teams too if we want to at least get into the wild card situation.
that's true.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens
What do you think?
with those guys.
Yep.
You know, they sometimes they just show flashes of greatness,
Sometimes.
and then there's like what are you guys doing, kind of things. It's very inconsistent this year. They have had a lot of injuries, and now a lot of people are coming back. Trevor Story, remember Trevor? Trevor starts a rehab in Worcester tonight. We actually may see him.
They interviewed him. I saw the interview this
Yeah.
weekend. Yep.
He was down in Portland, did well down there. So we'll go up to Worcester, see how he does there, and he can be used because second base and shortstop has just been a real mystery
Yeah.
this year, driving me crazy.
So they have improved since the All-Star break. Of course,
Yes.
it depends on the teams they're playing, as you
But
just said.
they're also still in last place,
They're back in last. Huh?
but still 2 games out of the wild card. So
But if they were in the Central Division, they'd
they'd be in first place.
Okay.
Which
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Everything is relative.
It is, but we can't switch divisions.
Why?
Why? Because we can't.
Just
All
this
right.
once?
Just this year.
Something I heard yesterday, and just see if you agree with me on this one. Usual poll situation: Donald Trump is way out in front
He is.
on the Republican side, and I think just his supporters, they believe him, and they're sick of all these allegations that get thrown at him, and now we're at the point you could throw any allegation you want at Trump. It does not matter. We're still voting for him.
Well, he was right when he ran for president the first time about something about Times Square. I could kill somebody in Times Square, and I'd still have my. I think people are basically. I know he was kidding, but people will, no matter what he does, he's got like 5 or 6 trials coming.
I know.
That's a
And
schedule.
that's it. There's
Yeah,
too many.
yeah,
People can't keep
yeah.
track of them.
I know.
And they think he's innocent anyway. So it doesn't matter what happens
Or-
at the
yeah.
trial. We're still going to vote for him no matter
Oh,
what.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ed? Do you think the Trump supporters think like that? There's just too
It
much
certainly
stuff thrown
seems
at
that
him.
way.
Yeah, 30% above DeSantis,
DeSantis, yeah.
who is his campaign is faltering.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to get the nomination. A little
Is it too early to say?
arrogance on his part.
You think it's too early to say it's faltering?
It's a year. It's a year, about a year from now, when things really get serious, when they have the convention and all that. But if the convention were held, let's say next month in August of this
Yeah.
year, yeah, he'd get the nomination. And
Yes.
would he beat Biden? If Biden is the nominee, I think he's got a real good shot. But I think a lot of people don't like Trump, but they like the Republican policies.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll either stay away, they won't vote, or they'll vote for a third-party candidate, which will hurt one of the candidates, or they'll vote for Biden.
Do we have a third-party candidate?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I think that's what's going to happen.
There'll be a viable
It'll be
third
Biden
party?
versus Trump. There'll be a third party, and I believe the third party, depending on where it comes from, where it emanates, if it comes from the Republican side, we'll hear the Republicans. If it comes from the Democratic side, we'll hear the Democrats.
It's usually how it works.
Usually. I don't know, but I think a lot of the policies that the Republicans stand for are very popular with the American people, but they don't like Trump. A lot of Trumpers won't vote for Trump, but they would probably not vote for Biden either, I would think. That's my analysis.
But there's
of
a
it.
lot of people that still like Trump.
A lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
not as many as before. Would he have enough votes to win the election? Again, as Ed said
Possibly.
earlier, it's possible. I think you said that about something.
Anything,
Who knows?
anything is
Who can see in that
possible.
crystal ball? But
All right.
yeah,
Well, I think if you want to blame the media and they keep shoving allegations about Trump, I just think it's not working anymore.
Yeah.
And his supporters are just always going to be his supporters, and it doesn't matter what you throw at them. They believe Trump. He keeps saying it's a witch hunt. And people say you're absolutely right, and just they're not even paying attention.
there's no doubt that history is being made.
Yeah.
Oh, it always is, but this one will not be soon forgotten.
All right. Down in Mass, out on the Cape, they have tagged their very first great white shark of the season.
Really?
Yes, the Massachusetts Division of Marine Fisheries said they tagged it off the coast of Cape Cod near Truro, which is near Provincetown.
Sure.
And it was a 10-footer. And they were about a mile north of head of the Meadow Beach.
Meadow Beach. Okay.
That which
Figure
is
out where
which
that
is in
is.
Truro. Only about a mile out, though. That's not very far. Well, those,
I wonder if the warm waters have something to do with that. Are they?
The warm waters and the seals.
Yeah.
yeah. Where's
Yeah.
lunch?
Yeah. Yeah. They're looking for food, but I don't think they're looking for human food. They're looking for, like you just
No, they
said,
want
seals.
seals.
If you see seals in the water, stay away from the water. You might be mistaken for a seal.
I know. They'll take a nice bite out of you and say, "Wow, that's not a seal."
I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, now
I'm gonna spit it
they've
out.
hit every artery in
yeah,
the body.
I don't
right?
like that kind.
I was watching a little bit of Shark Week on Discovery, and they've come up with really more sophisticated and stronger shark cages.
Yeah.
It's not like the one you see in Jaws, which is basically a chain link fence.
Yeah.
It's some real tough iron that they
They
cannot
can't
get through.
penetrate.
And what they wrap it up and they get like a whale carcass, and because they're trying to create a feeding frenzy so they
Okay.
can film it to see what it's like, and they
Yeah.
did. So they were able to. They brought a lot of chum along to fake a injured whale, and these 19-foot sharks came out of the water.
Ouch.
Yikes!
Yep. Okay.
And
Just kidding.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And there were two there for a
Yeah.
while, and the 19-foot scared away like the 13-foot.
Oh.
Hey, I'm bigger than you. Go find your own whale.
Yeah.
And so it swam away. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they did tag their first. The one off churro was not certainly that big. This was only it was only a 10-foot shark. So you can
I would.
you could probably fight it off.
I would impress me.
Yeah, a 10-foot shark.
Yeah.
It's funny because you know, how do you measure it? And because you can't get out there with a tape measure, and what they have to do is take a photograph,
Yeah.
and then they know this far apart is a foot, and then they just extrapolate. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's about 10 feet.
Yeah. That's pretty big.
Yeah. All right. So up in Boston, there's a joint committee on consumer protection. Okay, they're holding a hearing, and or they held a hearing regarding they're very concerned about the secondary market for tickets, sporting
Oh.
events, concerts, and they will consider a bill that would impose new regulations on the resale of tickets to entertainment and sporting events. This is because it follows the very significant markup on tickets for Taylor Swift and others
Yep.
at Gillette Stadium. It doesn't say what they're going to do to try to control the ticket prices, but I guess anything would be a help. $3,000 is a lot for a ticket to
Some people
one
would-
show.
Some people would pay it.
Well, they did.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. And they know it. That would be very hard to enforce. I think.
I gotta get Bob Lauder in on this because I couldn't understand. I still can't understand why it's okay for StubHub and Ace Ticket to resell tickets, yet I can't.
Because they pay taxes, probably on
Maybe that's
what
it.
they sell.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're licensed.
That's why.
But if I want to sell my tickets to you, why should the government care?
But again,
Because you're not paying taxes on the sale.
I did on the very first purchase.
Yeah.
Okay.
they don't care. They want more.
They want more?
More. You want more? That's the government, of course. And that's why they legalized marijuana. I know I'm getting off the subject, but primarily because of the money that they can generate.
off the taxes?
Of course.
Well, that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's dollars actually.
That's
Lots of them,
that's
yeah.
That's a good
That's
one.
why those licenses are so hard to get, and that's a whole other story.
Marijuana licenses?
Yeah.
Why are they so hard to get?
Because there's a lot of money to be made in that business,
Okay.
even not only for the government but for the people that own these stores that sell them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a liquor license, very hard to get.
We
But
had
once you
the
get it.
we had the story. It was last week, and this is out of the state
Yeah.
of New York.
Yeah.
And I said to Dave, from the what could possibly go wrong department, the New York, the legislature in New York has deemed it okay for recreational marijuana shops to sell at concerts, fairs, and festivals.
Of course.
Like, but only if there is a retail shop. If there's a retail shop in the town where the fair, festival, or concert is taking place, then you can't. And the reason they said okay, it's been because New York is really dragging its feet in giving out licenses. They've only given out a handful.
Yeah.
And New York's a good-sized
Yeah.
state,
Oh yeah.
and so they said we think this will help. And I said, I just can't see this as being such a good idea.
Wouldn't this be similar to around Halloween when they set up these tents
spirit of
in the
Halloween,
parking lots
what,
and
the
sell
fireworks?
and that hurts the local merchants who pay taxes all year and stay in town and contribute to the economy. They just come in and
For a
they
couple of
fly
months.
by night. So I think it's similar to that. They don't want to hurt. They don't want to hurt the established ones. So
Yeah.
that's the compromise. And I don't know. I think getting back to Halloween, which is a few months away yet, but you'll see those tents springing up all over the place. I don't even know if they pay taxes.
Well,
I-
don't they have to pay a fee just to set up
Yeah,
and
but
get their
a
permit
one-time fee. But if there's
to
a
the town?
but
Yeah.
if there's a nearby store that's there year-round, a brick and mortar store, and they pay taxes to the community,
Mhm.
they
That's
get
always
hurt.
been a question
They get hurt
about
by that. Yeah.
places that pop up.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, it used to be flowers. Somebody
That's
would
true,
be selling
yes.
flowers at
They-
a corner here,
They
there.
still do.
They don't.
Like at Mother's Day.
Yeah, I don't know what they
I-
ever came up with,
you know
but
what?
for a while they banned it, and then
Did they?
Yeah,
well,
because I don't see too many of those.
not as much.
Not as many as I used to.
No.
You're right. Yeah.
Easter time and Mother's Day.
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
people in the vans.
Yeah.
And maybe because but they only do it on that day. They don't set up like a week ahead of time.
And of course, they undersell the local florists as well.
Yeah, but the thing is that exactly they undersell the local florists, and the local florists do. That's the busiest time for them
Yes,
It
too,
hurts them.
and they pay taxes all year long.
Right.
That's
So,
my
I don't
whole
know.
point. Yeah.
All
very,
right.
Very unfair.
We got to take another break here on the Coffee Aid program, and we will. More coming your way. Comments and questions, call them in at 766-1240.
Hi, I'm Kathleen LaValle at The Honey Shop. Check out our Facebook page at The Honey Shop RI, and there you'll see a whole list of our new classes and lots of fun things to do. You could join us for making limoncello, pizzas, pasta making, cheese making, so many fun things to do and learn.
Thanks, Kathy. Folks, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop, right behind the Dunkin' Donuts at Park Square in Woonsocket.
Summer Sizzler sale continues at Family Discount Furniture. Come in for hot summer deals. Family Discount Furniture has a huge selection in stock ready to bring home same day. Are you having trouble sleeping at night because you're just broiling? Well, check out the new Cooling Gel Mattress lineup. See the Ashley Collection Sofa and Love Seat or Sectional. Family Discount Furniture offers flexible leasing options, no credit needed. For details, talk to Ryan or Brad at Family Discount Furniture and visit online at FamilyDiscountFurnitureRI.com. Enjoy new furniture this summer from Family Discount Furniture on the corner of Social Street and Diamond Hill Road in Woonsocket.
It's coming. It's the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival of the Parish Grounds on Park Square in Woonsocket. Wednesday, August 2nd through Saturday, August 5th. Ride all the Rockwell rides Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon with a one-price rides-all bracelet. The Holy Trinity Carnival Kitchen and Parish Games open from 6 to 11. Food trucks featuring Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, Spanish cuisine, and bugged-out barbecue. Classroom bingo and entertainment every night. Plus fireworks Thursday night and a Saturday matinee. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival, Wednesday, August 2nd to Saturday, August 5th. Make your plans to be there.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
It is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM, and this is Joe Callahan with Romeo Bertham and Ed Carew. Just talk about the whole cashless system, and this is what I saw Ed and Romeo when I went to the show at the Xfinity Center, and I think it's really hurting the people that sell the drinks. I brought this up before because it used to be when you paid with cash, they used to put a little tip jar out. And people would throw dollar bills or $5 in there to tip the bartender or who's ever getting you your drink. Well, now we don't accept cash, so there's no tip jar out. However, when you go to buy whatever you're going to buy, they punch it into the screen and you get your total, and then they spit it around so you can see what the total is, and then right on the screen it says no tip, 15%, 20%, 25%.
They're all doing that.
Right. But this way, it is so much easier to just go no tip.
Yeah, and a lot of people are doing that.
And I'm one of them.
Unfortunately, it's hurting them. There's no doubt about it. But on the other hand,
I think it is hurting their tip.
the other side of that coin, I think a lot of servers and people that own these places where they dispense beverages, for example, they automatically expect a tip. I mean, in Europe, tipping is like
It's like an insult.
No, yeah, it is. It's almost like you're not going to tip me. You know, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Have you used Uber, for example? Have you used it?
I have never
I
used
have.
an Uber. No.
Does the tip automatically go with the charge, or do
No.
you have to give them cash?
No,
you don't have.
It
well,
pops
how
up.
does
On,
that-
it comes up on your phone. You know that's how you call for the Uber on your phone.
Yeah.
That's how. Okay, this one's coming. This is what it's going to cost.
You
You
do-
accept it, and you say yes. Okay, so and so is going to show up in 10 minutes, let's say, and then when you're driving to wherever you're going, it pops up again on your phone. How's the ride? Everything okay? Would you like to tip the driver right now?
And if you say no,
You can say no.
does the driver know you're doing this right away?
Eventually, yes. And now
Yeah.
with Uber, you rate the driver.
But he rates you too.
But
doesn't
he rates you.
Yeah.
And if now you come down as a bad tipper or no tipper,
That's what I'm saying.
when you try to get another ride, you know, it's up to the Uber drivers. They're going to look at it and say, "This Joe doesn't tip, so I'm not going to go pick him up."
Yeah.
You will have trouble getting a ride.
Yep.
So now
I know.
you're kind of forced
I'm
into
forced to
it.
give a tip. And what is it? 10%, 15%?
Well, it gives you the choice. You're 10, you're 15, 20, 25.
And it comes out-
and then it says, "Do you want to add your own amount?"
on top of that.
No. You want it to be between. You want it to be
15.
18%.
Yeah.
Well, instead of giving them $20, I only want to give them 18. You have to hit your own amount and then punch in 18.
But if you, it gives you a choice. But if you decide to actually give the driver a $10 bill,
Well, I've never tried to do that.
does that count? I mean, is he going to rate you as a good tipper? Or
Probably, but
I'll
I-
have to be on a credit card.
Of all the Uber experiences I've had and other people using it and myself, I've never seen anyone give an Uber driver any money.
So it's all part of the
Because that's,
transaction.
and I've asked the Uber
Yeah.
drivers this, and
Yeah.
they like it better this way. Therefore, you never hear of an Uber driver or a Lyft driver getting held up.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have any cash.
They'd rather
and the
not,
people
right.
that have the guns that are robbing people, that rob taxi drivers, no, you don't rob the Uber drivers. They don't have any money. There's
Okay.
no cash on them.
Then they've had some Uber drivers, very rare, but some that have actually assaulted people too.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
but taxi drivers do that too.
Yeah.
All right, so
Or-
that's how the Uber and the Lyft works.
Moral of that story: either don't travel or drive your own car.
So Jay Leno's going to be honored here in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
He's a part-time Newport resident, and he's going into the Rhode Island Italian American Hall of Fame.
Oh wow.
Sometime in this fall. The funds raised will go to the organization's scholarship fund for exceptional college-bound students in the state from all ethnic backgrounds. The event is September 27th at the Providence Performing Arts Center. He'll be doing some stand-up comedy there as well.
He's from Massachusetts, right? Somewhere. in
Originally he's
Mass-
from
yeah,
Boston.
Boston. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's where he started. Okay.
Ah.
Other things going on. I don't know if you heard about this. Makes you wonder how, but a man is recovering in Connecticut after he fell out of a hot air balloon.
Wow.
I mean, you could almost try to do this. Those hot air balloons come up to your chest.
I know.
Those baskets that you stand in.
I think he was taking pictures and.
He might have been hanging out. Someone
Yeah.
grabbed my
Get a selfie.
taking a selfie. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
You know, someone hang on to my belt loop while I hang out and get a real good shot. I don't know what they don't
And
say what he
how
was
high
doing.
up was he?
They don't say. But
He
enough that
survived
when he
it.
fell out, he was rushed to the hospital and he was in stable condition.
Wow.
So high enough where he could have broke something, but not,
How about
skyrocketing
How
up
about
there.
people who fall off cruise ships? How do you think that happens?
They're drunk. That's the only thing I think
Yeah,
there.
I agree.
Or
There recently was a woman that fell off, and she
Yes.
was sitting on a rail taking a selfie.
well, there you go.
There you
There's
go.
also that.
See you
stupidity.
later.
Stupidity is yeah.
I don't know if they slip
I-
on the walkway. Maybe it's been raining. Okay, some could be accidents, but most I think they just
Yeah.
they just fell over the rail.
Yeah, well, there's most cruises now feature the open bar concept. So
Yeah.
people, hey, I'm on vacation. I'm not driving. I'm doing I have a few, and first thing you know, whoa, hey, this is fun. Crash. I don't know.
Well,
I wouldn't do it.
the NFL is suspending a player for the Denver Broncos. For
Why?
gambling.
Oh no!
Yep.
Well, what a terrible sin that is.
On Monday, well, you can't bet on
Was he-
NFL games. If
Well,
you're part of the NFL, you cannot
Was
bet
he
on
betting?
NFL
I was
games.
first question I was going to ask you: was he betting on his own team?
Doesn't say.
All right.
I wish I
Yeah.
knew. The league announced that the Broncos defensive end Enyoma Uwazurike.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you.
Pronounce that again.
No, that's okay. will be suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games during the 2022 season. Doesn't say if it was on Broncos games or not.
Okay.
He will be able to petition for reinstatement in July of 2024. He's going to miss this
whole
entire
year.
season. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not good because there's always young kids behind you coming up that
How-
play
how-
your position.
How stupid.
Yeah.
Thought it was-
Now he was a rookie last year. He only played in 8 games after the team drafted him in the 4th round. He played at Iowa State. Doesn't give any. It doesn't say if he got a tackle or intercepted anything, but he's only got into 8 games. So, and now he's not going to get into any. And watch for the Broncos to just release you.
Oh yeah, they will.
We don't
Yeah.
need you.
There's too much competition.
Go somewhere else. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow.
So,
Throw away your career.
yeah. And I
what he did.
know it looks like you're gonna make the big bucks. And yeah, you probably could. It doesn't say if you won or lost, but you get caught gambling, and it says that's it. You cannot bet on NFL
Even
games.
if he won the bet, he lost.
Well, yeah, because you got caught.
Yeah.
Now, is this a good thing? There's a push on in New York City to legalize jaywalking.
Okay, you got to
Well,
explain
if
it.
we're gonna legalize it, you can't call it that. Really, it's just then it's just crossing the street, right? All right. Councilwoman Mercedes Narcissi is sponsoring legislation that would allow pedestrians to legally cross streets at any area they want outside the crosswalk. I thought that's the whole point for safety. Cross at the crosswalk.
The streets are wide in
All right.
New York City. I mean, you're not talking Kennedy Street here.
Yeah.
You're talking.
Now, council members in New York in favor tell the New York Post this will end biased enforcement by cops against blacks and Latinos for jaywalking. It's a race thing.
Give me a break.
Critics say the bill would go against measures aimed at reducing traffic fatalities in New York City.
I doubt it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Racism, sexism.
So they're saying the cops are going after the blacks and Latinos only because they're jaywalking.
No.
And I guess all the Asians and all the whites are walking at the crosswalk. So we're the good guys, I guess. And I don't know. I guess I'd have to look at the numbers. Not that I'm going to.
I don't think that-
What is the number of jaywalking tickets given out in a month?
I don't-
And is it broken down by race?
I doubt that'll go anywhere.
You don't
Might
think
be-
it'll pass?
There might be 2 or 3. I don't know how many council people
I
there
wish
are
it
in
said. Let's say there's 7, and there's
8,414.
Oh, yeah. 10 million people
so there's at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
3 people in favor of it.
out of.
Well, I don't know, 7. It's a
I
New
think
York City
I
Council.
have a feeling it's a little bigger than that, but that's just a.
Yeah?
I don't know.
It does. It doesn't say. You'd have to pick up the
Find
New York
out.
Post, but
We'd
yeah,
have to go.
we want to
Yeah.
legalize jaywalking.
Well,
What a good idea.
no.
Especially in the big cities, Boston and New York, and
Yep.
I mean, when I'm in those cities, and I'm not there a lot, but I specifically look to see where the crosswalk is,
Crosswalk.
because if I'm going against it, 1, I don't want to get the ticket, and 2, I don't want to get hit by a car.
Well, I know,
Or a
I know,
truck.
I know of, and we all do, of people that have been hit by cars when they were in the crosswalk.
Yes.
It's kind of scary. It's scary to cross those wide streets. I think I.
Look at the
Yeah.
movie Midnight Cowboy.
Yes.
That scene where Dustin Hoffman hits the taxi.
Yeah.
That was not in the script. They was just supposed to cross the street.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Oh.
and the taxi, the guy driving the taxi is not in the movie. Well, he is, but
He
he's
is
not.
now.
He's not an actor in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
He just decided to go,
Yep.
and Dustin Hoffman punching the cab, saying, "I'm walking here," completely made up at that time. Little movie
Wow.
trivia for
Wow.
you for Midnight
I didn't
Cowboy,
know that.
and and so it was so good they
Interesting.
left it in.
Yeah.
Because I think you
Okay.
might see John Voight jumps back just a little, because the
Yep.
cab is coming
Yeah.
right as they're walking in the crosswalk. So, and so up in Vermont, they are filming the movie Beetlejuice 2.
Really.
Yep,
Okay.
and they're having a few setbacks because of the strikes that are going on with the writers and everybody else.
And the floods.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know where Corinth, Vermont is. I don't know if it's up near Burlington where they had all the flooding. Maybe it's in southern Vermont.
Yep.
But they have another problem. People are stealing their props.
Really.
Yep. And
Somebody is.
Yep. They're investigating the theft of 2 large props that were stolen straight from the set. This would be like when they shot the Witch movie down here in Lincoln. and going there and taking a house. Right from the set. The investigation began nearly 2 weeks ago. A large lamppost that had a pumpkin on top of it was reported stolen by someone in a pickup truck. Came by, picked it up, put it in the truck, took off. And then 3 days later, a nearly 200-pound sculpture was taken from the production set at a cemetery. Dave asked, how could they pick up a 200-pound sculpture? Well, maybe there's a couple of guys get
Oh, at
together.
least, yeah, maybe
And said,
three.
okay,
four.
everybody lift. And so, okay, they're looking for these props for this movie.
Conversation piece.
Yeah. Now, Warner Brothers wants to release the movie in September of 2024. So this might push it back a little as we got to replace the props in the
Yeah.
movie.
They
So-
should secure them.
Well, maybe they thought they were okay with 200-pound sculpture. No one's gonna
but the
take that.
The other stuff that they steal.
How about we just hire security to watch the stuff overnight?
Yeah, that's an expense.
Yes, it is. But
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
I know.
they're spending millions to make the movie, and Winona Ryder,
Yeah.
who's going to be the star, she could take a little off her salary.
Yeah.
She won't, but that's the way it
could.
goes. All right, that does it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Ed Crew, thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
All right, and when we birthday, thanks for subbing for Linda Tebow.
I have to agree with Ed. Always a pleasure.
All right, I'm Joe Callahan. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the Crew. Do you remember coming your way at 9:30 on ON Radio?
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. New law passed in the Rhode Island legislature is requiring the state crime lab to audit its DNA data bank to determine how many offender profiles are missing. The data bank is used to search previously collected profiles for DNA matches with evidence collected from crime scenes, which could identify potential suspects. The bill's sponsors say due to loopholes in the justice system, many offenders' samples are never submitted. State Representative John Edwards says survivors of sexual assault and the families of murder victims deserve nothing less than a data bank that includes all the profiles it's supposed to have. Michael Flynn, the former advisor to President Trump, has sold his Rhode Island home. The Newport Daily News newspaper is reporting Flynn and his wife sold their property on Tuckerman Avenue in Middletown to David and Michelle Powers of Boston for $1.9 million. You might also recall